In your work, Sabelo, and specifically recently in a chapter or a book chapter that we co-authored entitled Blackism on a World Scale, you use a phrase or concept of paradigm of difference. Could you please unpack that for us, and also how it relates perhaps to apartheid, and also perhaps what we see in the United States of America with the killings of innocent black people?
The paradigm of difference it's a very important concept which we work with in the decolonial work. The paradigm of difference speaks about separations, how you find what is together, then you separate it. It is a logic which rejects co-presence, unities. It divides. It is a logic which fits into what, in simple terms, is called divide and rule, or define and rule. It is a long-standing problem which, if we go back to where it begins really with the definition of who is human and who is not, who has to live and who has to die, who has to own things and who has to work for the other. So it is this paradigm, and it is linked with another paradigm, which is the paradigm of discovery. So whenever you read about the two, you need to read them together, the paradigm of discovery and the paradigm of difference. Paradigm of difference fundamentally creates the colonizer-colonized difference, the white-black difference. The woman-man, not as innocent concepts, but as hierarchies. So it's a paradigm which, in decolonial thinking, we think we need to remember what was dismembered. It is a dismembering logic. And to dismember is something is membered like this, then you dismember, you separate. And when we speak about it from decolonial point of view, we then speak about it in terms of it dismembered. Decolonization needs to remember. Remember not in terms of memory. Remember, RE-member. Remember, picking the pieces and rejoining together what was separated. And then, if we understand it that way, it takes us directly to the apartheid ideology of separate development, which was institutionalized in 1948 in South Africa, whereby it said the black and the white are two different species. As two different species, they needed to pursue different agendas. And it then developed into the production of what was called the Bantustans, whereby it said even black people are not one people. Black people are tribes. As tribes, they are contending tribes. They are always fighting against each other. And in order to make them live in peace, you need to have Transkei, Ciskei, Kazangulu, KwaZulu-Natal, the Zulu, all the Bantustans. They were informed by the paradigm of difference. But there was a deeper politics in that. The deeper politics was that we don't want black people to coalesce into a nation. Because if they coalesce into a nation and they develop national consciousness, then they will fight against the colonialists. So you divide them, saying you are not even one people, you are separate people. And once you do that, you stop the wheels of the development of national consciousness, which feeds into nationalism, which then feed into the anti-colonial struggles. Then people begin to fight against the system. So it's a paradigm which when it comes to it is also a paradigm which feeds into problems of sexism. Sexism, whereby you just say, but the women are inferior Men are superior. So it's a logic which almost governs so much of these differentiations, the binaries, if you want to use that term, and the dualities. Black here, white there, male here, female there, a human, non-human. And you refuse that these things can live in an ecology. It even goes to the extent that you then say there is nature, then there are humans on the other side. And you then don't understand that humans are actually part of nature. Fundamentally, they are part of nature. It is only stupidity which can make us feel like we are above nature, nature is below us. And we only realize that we are part of it when the nature gets angry and it begins to consume us in terms of floods, in terms of pandemics, in terms of this. That's when you realize, oh, I'm also part of nature. I thought I was superior, I was above it. Nature is a natural resource available for me to exploit ad infinitum, if I can use that word.